I'm excited to start doing these with you guys. I'm going to do this every Monday, an open Q&A. If you do not follow me on Instagram already, please be sure to follow my Instagram at Danna-Gift. Every Monday, I drop a Q&A box where you can ask whatever you want, and I will answer them in a long video, just like this one here on YouTube, anonymously. So obviously, I'm going to know what you say, but no one has to know what you ask. So it's a secret. It's a secret between me and you know what I'm saying? Let's dive in. First question is, what do you sell? I don't sell anything on my Instagram. On my TikTok, I actually sell a lot of products that I receive. So I work with a lot of brands. I showcase their products. I do product reviews and we just have fun with it. So I showcase if I have cute makeup, outfits, headphones, keyboards. It's a variety of things. It's like whatever I end up getting off a TikTok shop is usually what I'm showcasing. And so I sell a lot of those products on TikTok. I don't really sell anything on Instagram and definitely don't sell anything on YouTube. This is all just because I have a love and passion for sharing what I've learned, sharing the experiences I go through, and hopefully you can receive something from the way I live my life and apply it to yours. I just hope that what I do is helpful. And if not, then at least if one person feels me and we connect and we vibe, then I will feel so happy that I have done my job, because I do feel like this is my calling from God. So I'm going to continue down this path no matter what. How are you doing today? Well, I am having a rough day as far as things not going my way. Energy wise, mood wise, we're good. Just overall, not understanding why half of the things I'm trying to do is not working, why my tech is not working. But my brain is working and I'm breathing and I'm here with you. So all is good and I'm happy, happy, happy. I also started my period today. And usually I get body tired these days, but my mind feels a lot clearer when I start my period. All the heavy estrogen is dumping out. And although my body feels depleted, the mind is much happier than it was yesterday. Yesterday I had a dark day. Seems to happen the day before my period. Okay, I'm crazy. Next question. Did you and your husband meet online? If so, what site? So my husband and I, we've actually been in the same friend group for some time. We knew people who all knew people and we all kind of hung out together, but we have such a big community out here that it truly is hard to meet everyone. And unless you're going to every single event and connecting with everyone, you're most likely not going to meet everyone. It's a big entrepreneur hub out here in Scottsdale, Arizona. And so we do meet a lot of other entrepreneurs, and he was a part of that group that I initially met. We actually ended up meeting each other a couple times in our friend group. We all went to the same concert together. Apparently, I went to this house party with him there and like danced with him all night, but I was very drunk at that point. Like I don't remember meeting him. He also looked very different back then. Like he did not look like who he does today, or not even when I first met him. So that's also probably why I didn't recognize him, but we bumped into each other a couple times. But the first official time we had a conversation was when he was on our mutual friend's podcast. My friend does this in-person podcast, the Just Girl podcast, shout out. And he was on it as a guest, covering his whole story on the SWAT and all of that. We all ended up hanging out afterwards, after the podcast. And I didn't realize it, but he actually lived in the same building that the podcast was hosted at. So we all went upstairs. We smoked a joint. We were smoking back then. We vibed. We connected. I remember him telling me the story of how he got all of his student loans somehow just disappeared off of his account. And then our first official one-on-one conversation, I got up to go use the bathroom. And I, mind you, I did not know that this was his place, like him and his roommate at the time. I don't know whose house I thought it was. I was waiting for the bathroom because somebody was in there. And he came up to me and was like, "Hey, do you need to use the bathroom?" It's like, yeah, I do. And he's like, "I have a secret bathroom. You can use that one." And I was like, "Okay, sure." In my mind, I'm like, whatever. So he goes and shows me the other bathroom, which is his bathroom. And he's like, "Keep it between me and you." It's like, okay. And then by the end of it, he ended up asking me out on a date, which he did not follow up until like a week later. And I was like, this dude. And honestly, I wasn't really expecting to go on a date because he was part of the friend group. And I just didn't want to taint where I eat. What is it called? You don't want to poop where you eat. It started off very interesting, but it's funny how you could be in the same friend group for quite some time or like in the same vicinity and not know that you were near each other at that time. We actually laugh a lot about some of the synchronicities that happened in our lifetime because there were moments in time where he was in Buffalo and I was in Buffalo around the same time. Just so many areas in life where we absolutely could have crossed paths several times, but I didn't even know it. So it's kind of funny how that works. You literally just asked me if we met online and if so, what site. And so I guess I could have just said uh, no, and there's no website. That's my long winded answer. Okay, anyways, moving forward. How about talking about cursing? People say they know and love God, but curse a lot. I do believe that there is a certain level of conviction that we should get as Christians when we are cursing, right? But do I believe that cursing means that you do not love God? I don't think you can draw direct parallels. I think it just depends on your personal journey with God and where you're at. Because a lot of the time, and like especially for me, it actually took me a while to start refining my language so that it became more holy. In the beginning, I absolutely love God. I mean, I've always loved God, but the level of discernment and holiness and sanctification just wasn't there yet. It didn't mean that I loved God any less. It just meant that I was on my own personal journey and that I just wasn't there yet. I do believe that God sanctifies us as a process, not as a whole. When we are going through this process, when we first commit ourselves to God, when we get baptized, when we claim the name of Jesus, it is not a one stop shop and suddenly you're holy, right? You don't just dip your head in water and suddenly you wake up and you're like, I'm saved. I mean, you are saved, but it's not that your entire being disappears and you become brand new, right? Like your soul becomes brand new, but you still have to get rid of a lot of the old habits and behaviors in order to pursue a life of holiness. It's a pursuit of holiness, it's a process of holiness. It doesn't just happen overnight. And so when people are cursing as Christians, I don't believe that that means that they love God any less. I just think that they're just on their way and their own path is going to be so unique to them. I think when you believe that people don't love God just because they curse, it's actually a judgment that you are casting on other people. And so I think the deeper question and something I would like to relay back to you is, why do you feel that people don't love God when they curse? Is it because you're being harsh on yourself in other areas? Do you judge yourself harshly? Or are you somewhat forgiving and understanding of people's process, right? Like I used to heavily judge people and their process because I didn't know how to forgive myself. And so, because of that, I realized there was a lot that God needed to correct in my heart posture because the whole judging thing doesn't come from a healthy place. It comes from a place of feeling like we know better. But the truth is, only God really knows, right? So I let God be God and I let God correct people individually. I don't judge people in their journeys because I truly have been down the wildest journey and have always come back to God. And so I'm not here to judge people. That's not my duty here. My duty here is to love other people as Jesus loved people. And I have faith and trust that God will work on each person individually. Next question: how to balance the positive and negative in a relationship of your partner? So that one is a little hard for me to answer, mostly because I don't fully understand it. I think what you're trying to say is, how do you find balance in your relationships with your partner? I've been actually questioning the whole concept of balance a lot lately. I don't know if there is true 50-50, 100% of the time balance. It is learning how to ebb and flow and being more in the positive sometimes, being more in the negative sometimes. Like we all go through seasons in our life where not everything is all fine and dandy, and that's okay. Now, if it's a very prolonged period of negativity that is happening within your relationship, then it might be time to have a deeper conversation and discuss why that is. Or maybe even time to reconsider being in that relationship any longer if it's detrimental for your health, if it's toxic, right? But I will say, when it comes to balance overall of the positive and the negative of a relationship, it is always going to be imbalanced, right? You might have moments of peace where it feels like balance, but we're all going through something. And so I think accepting and being okay that things are not in balance sometimes and learning how to support each other during those times when it's not balanced is a beautiful thing. That's the whole point of relationships, is that you get to have your best friend, your partner, to help mirror off certain things of your life and help create a more balanced structure in your own life. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the relationship you both hold is going to be balanced within, if that makes any sense. I hope so. But what I'm saying is, we all go through seasons. Relationships are never perfect. In fact, they're quite messy, but they are beautiful if you learn to accept the ebbs and flows of all of it. Yeah. Next question. Hi, Donna. Orange juice with pulp or no pulp? This is an interesting question. I don't think I have a preference. I had some of the most amazing non-pulp orange juice at this place called Argosante in North Arizona, and it was amazing. It was the freshest, most pure non-pulp orange juice ever. And then I've also had some really amazing pulp orange juice that was very natural and fresh. And I think overall, it doesn't matter pulp or no pulp for me. I just want it to taste fresh and not super sugared up. I want a good, pure orange juice. And very rarely do I want orange juice, but now that I'm talking about it, I actually kind of want orange juice now. Thanks. I'll have to settle for my plain water. I'm out of electrolytes, and I usually like to drink something with my water, but what do you do to process or release emotions? Ooh, this is a really good question, so I appreciate it. When I am processing heavy emotions, I'm going to say more on the darker side, because when I'm processing excited emotions, I don't really go through a process. I just feel and I'm excited and I'm present. So I'm assuming you're talking about more negative experiences and when we need to rage or something. If I am feeling like there is something heavy on my heart, if I'm angry, if I'm feeling bitter, if I'm experiencing any shame or guilt, I often will journal. And I don't journal so that I can live in the story. I journal because I realize when I'm not able to process these emotions, I feel like I need to get it out. I need to be able to ask myself deeper questions, to reflect more deeply, to understand the root cause of these emotions. For example, when I am experiencing, say, shame around something, I will need to understand, where's the shame coming from? Is there a root cause? Can I trace it back to something before? What event has triggered that shame or that feeling of guilt, right? Why do I think that I'm experiencing it over and over? Is this a trigger? Who is it affecting? Like, I need to know all of these answers. And so I will allow myself to ask these deep questions all within my journal. The beauty, and I'm going to make a suggestion of a tool here that I've actually started to use more recently. It's AI. I've been using ChatGPT to help me come up with deeper questions to reflect on when I am feeling a certain emotion. Like if I'm feeling rage or if I'm feeling sadness, I will actually type it into ChatGPT, and I've really learned how to prompt it quite well. Sometimes when you are in it, it is very hard to remember the questions that are going to help you solve the problems. It like takes out the guessing work and it streamlines the entire process. So that's what I do. And then obviously, I go to God when I'm really, really feeling heavy and I feel like I can't even process my emotions and I just don't understand what is going on. I will sit in prayer and come to God, come to the altar in pure submission and just say, God, I truly don't know what is going on in my life right now. I don't know why I'm feeling this. I feel this, that, and the third. And I'm just so honest with God. I'll let him know if I'm angry. I'll let him know if I'm sad. I'll like I'll bear it all. I am bare at the altar. And then after I'm done praying my heart out, I will go into the Bible and just read the word. Sometimes I will look for specific scriptures that help encourage me, to help bring me out from that very dark place. But other times I will skim my fingers through the pages until I feel a tingle, and then I'll open it up and see what God is trying to tell me. So it really just depends what I'm feeling on the scale of emotions. So if I'm feeling super deep, deep down, super dark, super like almost depressive, then Bible and God. If I feel like I'm like somewhere right in between and I feel like I can actually process and work through my emotions, then I'll journal. And then God, obviously, like God is all throughout this entire scale up process. I hope that answers your question. Let me know if you want me to dive a little bit deeper on that. But I will say there's also ways to release like if you're experiencing anger, there's rage rooms you can go and like smash stuff. I've seen a lot of people do that. It really just depends on who you are and like how you like to process, because some people don't like journaling, right? Although I will suggest that journaling is very useful for just about anyone. I think there's a time and place to journal as well. Next question is, can you wear your brown leather jacket fully zipped next video? Hi. Okay, sorry. I did not do that already. I am wearing a tan suede. I think this is a suede. Yes, suede jacket. Also, don't know why you want me to wear my brown leather jacket fully zipped for this video, so that's kind of strange. I don't mean to call you strange, but like, also, why? Do you think the only relationships that will succeed are faith-based? Ooh, that's a good question. I like this question. This is going to take me a second to answer. Let me get comfortable. My back hurts. Okay. I have two answers for that. The short answer is yes, because I think we need to believe in something bigger than ourselves to have a fulfilling relationship. Now, I guess it depends on your definition of success, because some people can see success as a long lasting relationship. But to me, longevity of a relationship doesn't necessarily mean fulfillment of the relationship. To have a long lasting relationship, I don't think you fully need to have faith or belief in God. And I say this because I have seen people who can have long lasting relationships because they stay on the surface, right? They don't dive deep into conversation. They don't communicate often. They don't express their feelings or emotions, and they float on top of the surface and never really go that deep with each other. I think those relationships, although they are successful through longevity, right? If we're basing it off the scale of how long they've been together, but overall, I think eventually, especially if one person in that relationship decides they want to grow or they want to change, then I do believe that they will wake up and quickly find themselves unsatisfied within the relationship because they don't have something bigger for themselves. They don't have a purpose. They don't have a drive. They don't believe in something beyond themselves. I personally think that if you want to have a fulfilling, deep, connected relationship with someone, I truly believe that the only way it's going to be fully successful and last long, right? Because you're exposing yourself, you're being vulnerable. You do need God. I think you do need some sort of spirituality, relationship, connection to a higher power. Now, whether you call it God or not, that's yet to be unseen. I truly believe, like I suggest that it be God, right? Obviously, but obviously this is just my opinion. I don't know for sure. I know that there are statistics out there that say that couples who pray together are 99% more successful than any other relationships and actually have lasting relationships versus the people who don't. There's a lot of statistics out there that if they are God-based, they typically last a lot longer and are more fulfilling and successful. I don't know why. I know why, but you know what I'm saying? Like it just is. And it's not to judge or say that anything is better than the other. It's just to say that those are the statistics. I personally believe that relationships thrive a lot more when you have faith in God or whatever you want to call it. I just truly believe that if you don't, then you end up relying on the other person far too much. And when they fall or when they stumble, as all humans do because we are imperfect, then the weight of that responsibility, the weight of that problem becomes much more heavy because you're looking at them to fix themselves. It's a lot to put on someone's plate. It's a lot of pressure on a person. Rather than if you believe in God, you almost somewhat relieve yourself of that pressure to say, God is going to handle it. God is going to take care of that person. Like everybody is on their own personal journey. And so understanding that and feeling like you are not in it alone is going to be so beneficial, I think, both individually and in relationships. I would love to dive more deep into that. I actually want to take my husband on a podcast with that because I think that that is a very, very important topic for a lot of couples. Best thing of your partner that you didn't get from your exes? Ooh, that's a good question. Hands down, the best thing that my partner does that I didn't get from any of my exes is, sorry, my desk is adjustable and it just moved up. My husband is amazing at communication. He is very emotionally intelligent and he knows how to express and communicate what is going on in his mind. He is very straightforward and doesn't skirt around his feelings towards something. He's very honest, has integrity, he speaks up, he's assertive, yet he also knows how to soften and speak to me kindly as a woman. And he's just got a very beautiful balance. So I think like overall what I'm trying to say is he's amazing and he does everything better than all my exes. Obviously, why I accepted and said yes. I think my husband's just super, super great at communication is his like number one feature. That and his integrity are two things that I absolutely find that are unmatched in any other human that I've met. And it's cool because I get to watch him grow and I've seen him really, really change throughout the years and grow from like this guy who had long hair and didn't have a car and didn't really have any savings. He was very much like kind of just in his like softer era. He was like exploring his spirituality. He left the SWAT team. He definitely wasn't the Dylan he is today. And so it's just cool to be able to watch and witness his growth and his change and his the level of responsibility he has taken upon himself. He does a lot of things better than all of my exes, and that is why I love him and actually see the rest of my life with this man. It's crazy because I definitely could not have said that with my ex-husband. And I go into that entire story, I think, in one of my other episodes. I get a lot from my husband that I never got from any other man. What color is your pedicure? What are some of these questions? Why? We only got a couple more questions and then we're going to wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. Ever been caught? Wow. Okay. I'm assuming cheating. So I have cheated before a long, long time ago. I think I was like 15. I was somewhere in the teens and I was dating this guy in high school. Was it high school? Gosh, I can't even remember. We were dating each other for probably like 3 years. I've always been a long relationship girly. I don't do well in the dating scene. It like makes me nervous. We were dating for about 3 years and I introduced him to World of Warcraft. I was an obsessive gamer. I was getting bullied a lot. And so I left normal high school, ended up homeschooling and really got into gaming and video games. I played World of Warcraft. I was crazy. I had a level 70 druid when 70 was like the highest level you can get. Anyways, I don't want to nerd out on it, but basically we were playing World of Warcraft a lot together. And eventually we got closer to graduation time and I'm like, we can't keep playing this game. We would have arguments and he would literally just disconnect by playing that game. And it just got so bad. He was gaining weight. We were not communicating very well. And I did something crazy. In a way, it was a way to help him, but also to help myself selfishly. But I changed his password. I changed his password to his account. And oh my God, he was mad. When he found out that he couldn't log on, he called me and threatened me, and it got pretty bad. And so our relationship got bad. I ended up cheating and he never caught me cheating, but I confessed. I went to his house and told him I needed to tell him something, a very difficult conversation. And we had like a 5 to 6 hour conversation when I told him I cheated on him, and essentially asked for his forgiveness, and somehow ended up back in that cycle. And then it ended up still not working out, obviously. I remember when I told him, I was so nerve wracking, but I'm not really great at holding on to secrets. It makes me nervous. And I truly have this paranoia that if I lie, I feel like they always already know and they're just testing me to tell the truth. And so I'd rather pass the test and tell the truth than get caught up in a lie, especially one that I have to maintain for a long period of time. That's just not me. That's not how I roll. And I just don't do it like that. Like, I don't know. I mean, you can kind of see it throughout all of my videos. I'm just very honest to a T. I'm very me. Like, I don't know how to shut it off. So, yeah. So, yeah, I confessed to my cheating, and, you know, so no, I haven't been caught, but I have confessed. Are you Filipina? I am. I am Filipina. My grandpa, I do believe, is more of a Spanish descent, which, if you don't know this, Filipinos, we were colonized by the Spanish people. And so we're basically like Asian and Spanish, which kind of makes sense, right? Like you can kind of tell the features. I think my grandpa was a little more heavier on the Spanish side, if that makes any sense. If not completely, he was. I don't know. I don't know for sure. That's all. Okay, next question. You're a beauty queen. Thank you. That's not a question, but I'll take it. I'll take it all. How old are you? I am 33, and I am going to be turning 34 in July, the 28th. If you guys want to wish me a happy birthday, it's coming up. I'm going to be 34. Oh my gosh, I think that's it. I think we went through all the questions. All right. Well, that was awesome, guys. I really enjoyed answering your questions. Like I mentioned before, I am going to be having a Q&A box open up every Monday on my Instagram. So if you don't already follow my Instagram, make sure you do so you can participate. And I will answer these questions weekly, and we will just have fun with it. Like, it could be a 30-minute video one time if I get backed up on content again and I don't edit in time, or it could be like a 10-minute conversation. Who knows? But either way, keep the questions coming. I really love connecting with you. I feel like this is just an opportunity for us to get to know each other a little bit more. I just want to hear from you a little more. Okay? Like, let's actually like connect. Thanks, guys, for tuning in to the first Q&A portion of my little channel. If you haven't already, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. I am really, really focusing on YouTube this year. I enjoyed this, and I'll see you next week. Mwah. Bye.